an old site. The Heinz Lofts, John Furchill is sitting in the front row here. I thank him for his interest and investment in Pittsburgh. They've done some great work. They were really on the cutting edge of doing lofts in Pittsburgh. The Heinz Lofts are an example of that. He can probably give you more detail than I can, but they are lofts that include 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. They use federal tax credits. There are 269 units in their building. I believe it's almost completely occupied. If not, it's close to it, and we're excited about that. That was a $72 million project that they were able to complete. Brownfield reclamation, our Pittsburgh Technology Center. It's a former site of a steel mill. We talked about Hazelwood and LTV, and Michael's family actually worked for them. And when that changed, that structure changed, he moved to Cleveland. So now what used to be a steel mill site, we'll show you what it is now, or what formerly used to be a steel mill site, we'll show you what it is now. It's located near our universities in downtown. This is that high-tech workspace that I'm talking about, incubator space that we're trying to provide for our best and brightest to graduate from Pitt, Carnegie Mellon University, or other schools. Before and afters, the befores are on the left, the afters are on the right. Quite honestly, the afters in these photos don't do justice to how beautiful that site is. John's buildings are actually the buildings that are located in the photos on the right. He's also developed those at Bridgeside Point. He did one and just completed a second. It is a space where we have, as we mentioned, located high-tech, biotech, life science companies. The University of Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon, it's difficult to see from this photo, but are located, if you look at the photo in the upper right-hand corner, that hillside where you see the trees, that's where Pitt and CMU are. So they're literally right over the hill. In many cases, they use this space for their up-and-coming companies and startups. The Southside Works, another former steel site that is located along our riverfront. It's actually directly across the river from the Pittsburgh Technology Center that I just showed you. It includes national retailers, living space. American Eagle decided to move their corporate headquarters there to Pittsburgh, and they've since begun construction on a second building. Again, the before, the old steel mill site, the after, you're looking at the Cheesecake Factory, a movie theater, and the like. You name it, they have it at the Southside Works. Great project. That was a project that was hundreds of millions of dollars to get done. Many public dollars, too, by the way, were used to make that happen. Bakery Square, former Nabisco site that was built in 1918. It closed. The bakery closed in 1998, so we had to find a way to do something different. Under my administration, we've been able to put this together. It is still under construction. It will be completed once again next year, as seems to be a common theme here. It will, in all likelihood, be awarded a LEED certified silver designation. It will contain a hotel, residential living area, retail, and office space. And for your perspective, this is located in the east end of Pittsburgh. It borders East Liberty, Leakin, Leamington, Homewood. Once again, predominantly African-American communities that we're trying to put developments like this and really give those constituencies an opportunity to grow like they haven't previously, unfortunately. Washington's Landing, which is located on the right, you can't tell, but it's an island. It was a former meatpacking plant and scrapyard. It had various contaminants. When they embarked upon the idea, everybody told them that they were crazy, that it just wouldn't work, that people wouldn't live there. They didn't know what it would smell like. There were a lot of issues. Those houses originally sold for between $100,000 and $150,000. I can tell you that today, if you were to try to buy one of those houses, they're in excess of $500,000. Ben Roethlisberger, when he became a Steeler, moved there. Other Steelers live there now. It's in the city limits. As you can tell, it's right up the river from downtown. Great success story, and really shows the willingness for us to take a chance and the benefits that can happen as a result of that. Third, innovative ideas that we've done in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Promise. We were talking at lunch about, and I asked the question, does Cleveland have issues in terms of the nonprofit community and the debate about, should they be giving the city more, should they be paying taxes, and what should their contribution be to the city. We're all very much aware of what the nonprofit community provides. We're very thankful for that. That's the case in Pittsburgh as well. But we had that same debate in Pittsburgh. And we, the superintendent and I, and in Pittsburgh, I'm not sure how Cleveland government works, but we have city government here, we have school district here. They don't mix at all. So I have no ability or direct control or authority over the school district whatsoever. But I do realize and recognize, and did at an early point, that the only way that I'm going to be successful, or we as a city, more importantly, are going to be successful, is if we have a good, vibrant public school district. And so I, at an early stage in my tenure, partnered with the superintendent of the public schools. We announced what was known then as the Pittsburgh Promise. It was modeled after a program in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'll attempt to be as brief as I can in explaining it. Bottom line is, each student, when they graduate from the Pittsburgh Public Schools, will receive up to $10,000 per year to go on to higher education. So you graduate from the public schools, you get a 2.5 GPA, you have $40,000 sitting there for you, no strings attached at the end of high school. That sounds great, right? The problem is you need $250 million to achieve that. So being 26 and naive and saying, that's a hell of an idea, let's announce it, the superintendent agreed, so we stood up and said, this is an idea that we have. It was met with probably the same nods here. Wow, that's great. That would be wonderful. But the problem was we needed $250 million. So that discussion continued, and 6 months later, we still didn't have any money raised, but we were having private conversations. And to their credit, long story short, UPMC, our medical provider, our hospital, the equivalent of what the Cleveland Clinic is here, stepped up and committed $100 million to the project. $10 million up front, and what they'll do for over the course of the next 10 years is they'll match that $10 million, provided that we raise an additional $15. So it's a $1.50 per dollar match. So they gave 10 up front to get us started, and then each and every year, if we raise 15 through our foundation community, corporate community, we're able to do it. The good news is the first year we raised the 15, so we got their 10, and we're in the process now of raising the 15 for next year. The program has been phenomenally successful. 800 students last year took the opportunity to go to school. There are over 1,300 students this year already signed up to do it. There's a great energy in the public school district now that didn't exist previously. They're getting their kids' promise ready, because it's one thing to give somebody $40,000. It's another thing to have them prepared for college. And quite honestly, many of them aren't prepared for college now, and we're trying to change that as well. So stay tuned to that. Do some research on that. It's really dynamic, and it's my goal and vision, and why I was such an early supporter of it. We talked about that 300,000 people that come in every day and then leave. Well, I want those 300,000 people to stay there, and this might be the carrot at the end of the stick that compels young families to once again consider the public school district and stay in our city. So it's going to be a great economic development tool. It's only 2 years now that it's been in existence, but something that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I think we're going to be able to have some real measurable results on why that worked. A tax abatement program, we've also implemented it in downtown and 28 other neighborhoods. How did we identify the 28 out of the 88 neighborhoods? Well, we identified them as being the poorest and those that haven't seen investment. So in an effort to try to get some things happening in those communities, we have provided a tax abatement program. It's a 10-year, 100% tax abatement. So if you build a new home in downtown or in one of these condos or in one of these neighborhoods, for 10 years your property taxes are abated. So you won't be responsible for paying property taxes either to the city or to the school district for 10 years. A big, big incentive that we, again, hope will be an innovative idea that will bring people back to Pittsburgh. Was asked a question about, okay, when you have 700,000 people at one day, but now you're 300,000, that obviously creates a lot of abandoned properties, abandoned homes, abandoned yards, lots, etc. We've put together a comprehensive open space plan that really tries and is attempting to coordinate all of those things. And so if you have a parcel of land that used to be a row of homes, but now it's a vacant lot. What we've done in many cases through our Green Up Pittsburgh program is we've gone in, we've planted gardens, we've planted trees, we've put benches there, we've made parks in some of these neighborhoods, trying to deal with what is a very difficult issue in our open space and abandoned properties. And then finally, database investment. No two neighborhoods are the same. one of the things that frustrated me at an early stage in city council was the mentality in Pittsburgh, specifically in the neighborhoods, is we need to build new homes because nobody wants to come here because we don't have new homes.